Taurus, things may not be as they first appear to you. I feel like there's going to be some unpacking that we need to do in today's reading, and a lot of this sort of came through with the imagery and impressions that I was connecting with while tuning into your energy. I actually did see these kind of like, almost like black wings kind of enveloping you while connecting with your energy, and it sort of felt like I was being cut off from something, like I was being hidden, or you, more specifically, were being hidden by someone or something. And at first, this almost felt kind of dark, or like there might even feel like there's something like a curse or some kind of psychic attack. It's like you're being blocked off from something. But the more I sat with this energy, it actually felt almost like there was some positive core intention there. And if you're familiar with things like parts work or internal family systems, IFS, this is kind of like the classic protector personality archetype, where there's a part of you or aspect of you that is trying to protect you from taking a risk or from being vulnerable. And so it does feel like maybe there is a form of sabotage or security seeking that is coming up right now. And it really does feel like this is a time to do some sort of shadow work. And I'm basically referring to this kind of psychological parts work as I refer to shadow work. Getting behind the why to your beliefs and actions, really seeing what's informing the way that you are and the way that you operate, and kind of working through some patterns that might not be serving you anymore. Because I do feel like for a lot of you, there's been something that was once very protective for you that is now something you're outgrowing. So that might be a dynamic that's really important to look at. I did pull a couple of animal cards here that is kind of going to help us unpack this energy a little bit more, give us some advice, and I will get into the tarot reading in just a moment. But before we dive into all of that, I just want to thank all of you who support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. If you've been following around for some time and haven't done so already, I really encourage you to hit that subscribe and bell notification, as this helps me continue putting out these messages for all of you and allows you to stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. If you're ready for a deep dive with me, you can book a personal reading or energy healing session using the link to my website in the description of this video, where you can also find links to all of my other social media accounts. That way you know you are following me and not some imposter account. Anyways, Taurus, I did pull the cosmic egg first, and the imagery here is actually what stood out to me the most, because we have this kind of black or dark serpent coiled around the cosmic egg. And this was sort of the image I was getting, although I got the visual of like black wings. It was almost like a swan or even like raven wings, but it felt very enveloping. And so I feel like there's something here that's almost blocking you from your spiritual potential. Maybe you're afraid of your gifts, or there's something about your gifts that were made wrong, especially if you have psychic abilities or even some kind of creative ability or something that would require you to go off the beaten path in life. I feel like a lot of you received conditioning that that was a wrong way to be. And there was almost this protective energy that wrapped around you and kept you safe, prevented you from taking this risk. But I feel like your spiritual growth and evolution is now impingent on you uncoiling something, unraveling something. And the cosmic egg actually does represent the crown chakra in this animal spirit deck. And so this is kind of like the ultimate final card of the deck. This is about you expanding your perception, expanding your belief system, and that might be why it's really important that you're kind of doing this very deep, introspective, psychological shadow work. It's helping you see things and kind of let go of things that don't serve you. And it does feel like there are things that happen in a spiral as well. Maybe you've done this work before and you're now at the next phase. It's not that you've regressed. It's just that things happen in cycles, they happen in seasons, and you're now at this period again where it's kind of further releasing yourself from old beliefs or defense mechanisms. So that feels important to acknowledge as well. I do also have the oyster, which is quite interesting because, again, there's sort of this energy of clamming up, of being very closed off, protecting yourself. And with the oyster, there is a pearl, there is a gift, there is something that is meant to be shared or valuable to be shared. And you really might be doubting your value and your worth right now, Taurus. So that's very interesting that this is what is coming up for you. Taking a look at the astrology at the time of this recording, it is a timeless reading, but you're welcome to kind of allow this to resonate if it reaches you. I'm trusting it's just going to find you when it's meant to. But at the time of this recording, we do have Mercury retrograde in the sign of Leo. And for you, this is your astrological 4th house of home, of childhood, of your roots, of family. And so all of these beliefs and these kind of emotions and conditionings from childhood are really coming to the surface right now. And maybe there's even some family dynamics that are kind of being stirred up at this time. But it really feels like this is about you releasing yourself, unbridling yourself, unbinding yourself from something that was once intended to protect you, but honestly feels a little bit maladaptive. So that's something I think that's just being acknowledged, and I think it's specifically tied to your childhood or your upbringing or something to do with one or both of your parents. So very interesting messages coming through already. I'm so curious to get into the tarot. I'd love to also hear in the comments how this is resonating for you so far. And as I'm shuffling, I just want to give my friendly reminder that these are general readings. So not necessarily every single one of these messages is going to resonate with you, and that's totally fine. It's up to you to use your intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life, how it applies, and what should be left behind. Maybe there's also messages in here for you that aren't necessarily for you, but someone you're connecting with, and that could be regardless of zodiac sign. So if you feel called to share this with somebody, feel free to do that. Again, they don't have to be a Taurus. This is just reaching them through you. And I really encourage you to even take a moment, perhaps pause this video, take a breath, ground yourself, feel that white light around you, and really allow yourself to feel what is resonant for you at this time. So what are the messages that we have for Taurus? Show us clearly, please. What is the guidance that we have for Taurus? Feeling like I need to actually pull. So I'm going to do a shuffle. Sorry if that was loud. Right away, I just want to say I'm noticing the 8 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And I don't usually look at the bottom of the deck unless I'm pulling. And I felt like I needed to do that today. So I feel like with the 8 of Swords, this is quite literally about the ways that you keep yourself stuck and freeing yourself from self-limiting beliefs or patterns. So that is very, very thematic to today's reading. We already sort of knew that, but I feel like this is just confirmation that we are on the right track. So what do we have here? Interesting. I actually did get the Fool that fell out of the deck while shuffling. This is about taking that leap of faith, that chance, taking a chance on yourself, on your dreams, on your gifts. Interesting. Let's pull some more cards here, shall we? Ooh, interesting. Okay, so I have the 3 of Cups coming in first. And this is a card of celebration. It's about connecting with like-minded people. But I'm almost getting the sense, Taurus, that maybe this was about conformity for some of you. Or kind of like the people that you surround yourself with having an influence on you. And I really feel like for some of you, maybe you're surrounded by people who don't necessarily inspire you. And that doesn't mean that they aren't supportive to you in other ways. That doesn't mean that they aren't good people or that they aren't beneficial. But I'm just getting this feeling that it's important you're also connecting with people who inspire you, who do things you want to do, who make you believe in yourself. And I think it's important to kind of reflect on this. This is the card of the past, after all. So who are the friendships that you have been seeking out? Or who are the people you've been seeking out? Have they supported you? And I think this is just about being very selective with the people you choose to be close to. There is that expression, you are the summation of the 5 people that you are closest to. So kind of thinking of those people, what are those traits? What do you identify with there? What are you trying to cultivate? And I'm not necessarily saying that you need to burn bridges. Maybe some of you do need to cut ties. But I think this is more about you surrounding yourself with positive messaging and like other ways of being. That feels important to me. And that could take a number of different forms, whether that's a mentor, friendships, even finding a celebrity or someone online who's doing what you want to do. Seeking out that inspiration feels really important to me. And I think part of this is that I do get the King of Pentacles as sort of the clarity or advice that came out of the past. And the King of Pentacles was in reverse. And this is almost like that conservative, traditional way of being or thinking. And this doesn't have to literally be about being conservative in your belief system or other people having conservative beliefs. It could be for some of you, especially if that was an environment that you grew up in. But it feels more like just being overly attached to security and stability. And I feel like there's something about that in the culture or the people around you as well, and needing to seek out people who can kind of break you out of that paradigm shift. Maybe even some of you would benefit from moving or going on an extended trip or just connecting with different types of people or different places. All of this is feeling kind of important to me because it's ultimately helping you kind of go against and challenge some of your old conditioning as well. Because I do have the King of Wands in reverse. And I feel like some of you are hesitant to step into your power, to step into your authority. This is you holding back your passion, your gifts. And it's interesting that this is in reverse. And of course, as I start saying this, I'm choking up here. My throat is closing. So some of you really are having a hard time expressing or communicating something. Maybe even needing to work with the throat chakra or that part of you, whatever the throat represents to you. Because we do have some reverse cards here. A lot of these cards are in reverse. I have the Page of Cups in reverse as well as the Challenge. You're having a hard time following your heart, your intuition. I think because you're so attached to the stability or just kind of the limitations that you've believed or maybe even were real or are real. But it doesn't have to be all there is for you. And I think your intuition, your spirit, is trying to course correct for you. And I'm going to be honest with you, Taurus. The card for the future is Death in reverse. I feel like you are resisting a change, a transformation. And maybe that's because it does entail some kind of ending. Maybe it is the ending of something that once brought you happiness or joy. That could be another way that we look at this Three of Cups in the past. But it feels like it's become shallow or empty over time because there's something more. There's something new that you're meant to do. And for those of you whose message this is for, you kind of actually knew that at the beginning. Like something was only the starting point, but you kind of let yourself stagnate. You became afraid of going to the next level, of taking that risk because you found something that worked for a time. But now it's about letting go. Don't be afraid to embrace change. And I know as Taurus, you are very stability seeking. I'm an earth sign myself. I'm a Virgo. I get it. It can be harder for us to do that. But I will say as an earth sign, when you move, the whole world quakes. It's felt. There's something powerful about it. Don't be afraid to have impact. Don't be afraid to make big moves. I want to kind of clarify this. I want to get more messages for you. We have the High Priestess. Yes, Taurus, you need to trust your intuition. You really, really do. I know. It's scary. It's hard. Maybe there's ways to do this where it's not such a big jump for you. But it's important that you are at least moving in the direction of what feels right and aligned for you. Because I think you're very attached right now to finding stability and finding security, especially if things right now feel unstable, which I know they do for a lot of people. But I feel like your spirit is calling you to something higher. And it's time to answer that call. And I mean, even if you don't answer the call, there's not really going to be much that changes. You're going to just be stuck in the same situation. It's almost like you're waiting for yourself to feel differently about the situation you're in, or for something to change about the situation you're in, as opposed to making a change for yourself. That might be something for you to reflect on. Especially if there's something in childhood that makes you feel risk averse. Trusting your intuition. I really do feel like this group has very strong psychic and spiritual ability, and yet for some reason you doubt your own guidance, your own voice, your own callings. Why do I keep going back to the black swan? I'm going to the black swan imagery with the wings from the very beginning. And I think it's about you feeling like a black sheep, or feeling wrong, made to feel wrong. Especially if you had like a conservative or religious or maybe even the scientific upbringing, or just not even scientific, but like atheist upbringing. Like you had gifts that people didn't understand or even feared. And by embracing who you really are, it might turn some people away. It might not make everybody happy. But are you happy in that energy? Your happiness matters too, Taurus. And I think that those answers have to come from you. Especially with the High Priestess here. The answers have to come from your own intuition, your own heart, your own soul. What else do we have for Taurus? We have the Seven of Swords, so there could be some sort of deception or manipulation, but honestly, this feels very internal. I feel like you've taken on what people have said about you. You believed it, and that's the problem. It's not that someone made you feel less than, it's that you believed it. And I feel like there's something that isn't as it appears. That was kind of a message I got right at the start for you as well. And then with those wings, interesting that we have the bird here with the Seven of Swords. What might seem like something that is unwanted, like you don't want to be stuck, but there's part of you that's afraid of moving forward. And that's why I think this is a very subtle psychological reading, because there's different aspects of you, there's different parts to you that are kind of coming up in this reading right now. And sometimes just by seeing our defensive behaviors, our protective aspects, we can have enough compassion to change that, or to loosen those bonds, that grip a little bit. So if something is happening in your life or isn't happening in your life, look a little deeper. What is the energetic undercurrent there? The Lovers. I really do see this about a relationship to yourself. This is the parts work. This is about light and shadow. This is about integration. I'm really not getting a relationship vibe from this, to be completely honest. This reading is very much about you. And even if there is another person involved, it's not even about the other person, because it's like, it's how you believe people show up in your life, and the beliefs you have around relationships. Those are the things that are more relevant. And it's almost like you are in a relationship with someone that's in your head. It's like maybe someone from the past, or who they used to be. That could also be a message for some of you, because there's a lot happening internally, and that's actually the thing that needs more attention, that needs resolve for you. You might not be able to change other people. You might not be able to fix them, or to make them think about you in a different way. You don't have to, is the thing. But there's something about that relationship, their voice is playing in your head, is almost what I get here. And that's the thing that needs to change. Because some part of you is believing something somebody said that is no longer serving you. I really, really get that. And maybe someone played mind games with you. They lied to you. They deceived you in some way. They manipulated you with the Seven of Swords here. But I feel like there is something about you bringing two or more parts of yourself together. What is the blessing here for Taurus? What is the blessing at this time? We have the Strength card. You are finding your strength, your resolve. Being true to yourself brings you blessings. And by listening to your heart, you are building something truly robust and sturdy. Whether that's a relationship, whether that's a new job or new life path. Because when you have that strength, that conviction in your heart, it becomes very hard to stop you. And I mean, Taurus, even though you are kind of like an immovable object at times, you can be very stubborn, very grounded, or very hard to sway. Once you start moving, you're also very hard to stop. Reconnecting with the past, something is healing with the Six of Cups. I really do feel like there's something about healing your inner child, rewriting those old stories. Maybe you're connecting with old passions, old things that you used to love, or maybe people. And we have the Four of Wands. So there is something here that is an achievement, that is a celebration, and it's almost like you're having this moment, Taurus, where it's like your younger self would be proud of the person you're becoming. Or even the person you've become. But I do feel like there's still something, some sort of risk, or some next step, some sort of leap of faith with the Fool that you're meant to be taking. I feel like you've always known, too. Like, you've always known there's something more for you, that there's some direction you're supposed to go in, that what you were doing or what you're doing now was meant to be temporary, that it was just supposed to be a launching point, but it feels like you've gotten a little stuck, Taurus. And so now is the moment to shake things up, or to discern, is this what I really want? Because this is a general reading, I'm not going to tell you that for every single one of you, now is the time to quit your job. Use your own intellect, your own discernment here, but really do take that time to figure out, am I living a life that's about comfort, or am I living a life that's about fulfillment? Anything else for Taurus at this time? Any other messages? We do have the Queen of Pentacles. So I do feel like you're creating something that's sustaining and stable for you. And I don't just mean materially, although it does feel like you are finding a way to sustain yourself, coming into true stability. Part of what makes it stable is that you are living a life that feels more aligned and authentic to you. And by doing that, you're able to perform better and create greater stability. And I mean, honestly, even if this is just about you making art in your free time, even if you don't make money off of that, it gives you energy. Something that gives you that life force is going to be very beneficial for you. Anything else for Taurus? I feel like there's one more message or one more card. Anything else for Taurus at this time? Show us clearly, please. Here we go. We have the Sun. I love this card. This is beautiful. There is something celebration. There's something worth celebrating, or celebratory. This is a very joyous, creative card. Letting yourself be seen as you really are. And to be recognized for your real gifts, your real talents, to be loved as you truly are. And that's the heart of all of this, isn't it? Like, you've been hiding, Taurus. And I feel like when you let yourself really be seen, it's going to change everything. I want to cry. It feels so beautiful. And it might feel scary. It might feel scary, Taurus. You know, and maybe it's just because we just had our Pride weekend in my city. Maybe for some of you, this is about coming out of the closet. Maybe this is about being queer. Or there's something kind of parallel to that. Maybe you're just embracing some part of yourself. You're coming out in a different way. But it feels like such a celebration. And it's scary, but it's also a reclamation of who you really are. Okay, I'm going to end it before I start crying because it's so beautiful. I do hope that this was helpful for you, Taurus. This energy was really, really beautiful, and I think it ended off on a very sweet note because I'm not going to lie, it does feel like sometimes these readings bring up some heavy themes, but I don't ever bring them up to make you feel stuck or defeated. I'm trying to put a name to certain patterns and things so you can help get yourself unstuck. So I hope that this gives you some things to think about, to work with. I do have links in the description, again, for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions. If you feel like you want to work one-on-one, maybe there can be something that can help get you unstuck, working together as well, if you're feeling called to do that. Also, you know, give us that swan emoji. Is there a black swan emoji? I don't know. Let us know that you've made it to the end. It's always cool to see who sticks around because I feel like you guys are amazing for those of you who listen all the way to the end of these readings. And again, you're welcome to check out the other videos on my channel. Maybe there's something for your moon, sun, or rising sign. I have a playlist of all of these timeless readings. And I will see you in the next video, Taurus. I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. Take care.